covered your favorite podcast with Manny MUA.
And Laura Lee, and today we have a very special guest. She's an OG. You probably already know who she is. She's Shayla.
Hey, I'm here.
She's here.
Hey,
you guys, I'm so, like, this is your first podcast experience.
Ever. No one ever wants to talk to me. You guys were the first.
Stop.
We want to talk to you.
We do, but we do.
We were like, you know who'd be a good guest? Shayla.
No, literally, especially like when I remember seeing you at the Vive event.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's whenever me and him were like, because you were talking at the table, you were spilling some tea, and me and Manny literally like, we immediately were like this. We're like, oh, that's a podcast guest right there.
That's a guest for us.
That's a guest.
And I feel like you didn't even have to ask. I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
No, I'm like, Shayla, do you want to be on your podcast? I would love to.
Yeah, I'm there.
And that's what we want to hear. And that's what we want to hear. Also, Shayla's an open book.
Mm-hmm.
I am an open book. I have a lot to say. I don't care.
And you're Virgo.
I'm a Virgo.
My favorite sign.
So you know we're straight shooters.
Virgo.
Straight shooters.
I have a very special affinity for Virgos.
What's your
love
sign?
them. I'm an Aries.
Is that what is
a fire
that?
sign.
Oh, but
the Ram, April.
April. Oh, okay.
End of March, early April.
I'm like, wait, that's the one sign I feel like I'm like Aries. I don't know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, do they complement one another, Virgo, Aries?
My best friends, like literally growing up, have been Virgos, so I just feel like it happens.
You know, Beyonce's a Virgo.
I do know that.
I actually didn't know that.
Dr. Phil is too.
Me and Robert Downey Jr. have the same birthday.
Me and Dr. Phil have the same birthday. That's the only reason I know. But Zendaya's a Virgo too.
Oh, she's a Virgo too.
Really?
All the best women are Virgos.
I mean someone had to
Virgo
say
women are the best.
Yeah,
Virgo men,
women.
I don't know. I've heard horror stories.
I have.
I've dated Virgo men, and it just didn't work out.
They're a little
crazy.
Yeah, I'm like.
No, so what we're going to start off first with our peaks and our pits, as we always do every episode with every guest. So peaks and pits, best thing of the week, worst thing of the week.
Oh, the week.
Of the week. Or day, whatever.
Like
coming up.
Sometime recently, like whatever's kind of going on in your world that's been good and bad.
Okay, so my pit.
We'll do pits first.
So I'm on this like fitness journey. I have a nutrition coach. I can't eat a lot of things, so I just feel like that's like a pit. Like 100%. I'm just starving a little bit. You know, like I'm trying to get.
What do you want?
Ozempic skinny.
Ozempic.
No, I'm not taking Ozempic.
No, but
I'm trying to lean out a little bit.
Yeah,
she's gonna Mariah Carey in it.
Right.
Just strong knees only.
The strong knees only.
What made you like want to start doing that? Like, because I know you're like healthy and like fitness conscious.
Even
like I love working out. Yeah, I love working out, but I feel like I've just been kind of lazy the past year.
Yeah.
Like ordering out. Like Les and I will order like California Chicken Cafe. Do you know the salad place?
Literally
it's healthy.
Right down the street from my house.
Right. It's healthy, but should we be eating that like multiple times a week? No.
Probably not.
So I just feel like when you eat out a lot, there's a lot of inflammation. So I'm trying to get rid of that and just lean out and just be the best version of myself.
So would you get like a nutritionist that's like making you on a strict diet? Is that so hard?
Do they make the food for you?
No. So we make, and that's what's hard. The hardest thing is like cooking for yourself and all of that. So Les and I are doing it together. And sometimes I'm just like, I just want to eat whatever I want to eat.
See, that's my problem.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
And I just want to be like, F it all. Like, I'm just going to eat. But that's not really a healthy habit.
You're like, it's not worth it. That's me. Sometimes I'm like, it's not worth it. I'm so hungry. Like, it's not worth it to me.
It's hard.
You've been a fitness girly forever, though. Like, you've always been a workout queen.
Mm-hmm.
I love working out. Like, it's next to everything else that I love. It's one of my passions.
Same.
Fitness.
I love that.
Like getting up and having a routine, like walking my dog, walking 3 miles, Pilates, strength training. Like I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
love it.
I've always been kind of the opposite, but what I have found, because I would say after COVID, I was like, that's it. I'm going to have to be a fitness girl or else I'm literally going to die. Like I have to get a routine going. I have to get a lifestyle. So my thing, I like tried so many different workouts until I figured out like what I like that I could do every week, no matter what, and like look forward to.
Have you tried Pilates or Legree?
I haven't, but my goal is to get into that this year. Which part of my, well, technically my peak, I should be doing my pit, but is hot yoga. I did a 90-minute class before we did this episode this morning.
Today?
Ooh.
Sure did.
A 90?
Sure did.
That's a long time.
I'm 90.
And I felt every minute.
Every minute passing.
No, my Pilates class is 45 minutes, and I'm like, that's more than enough.
That's like strength training, right? That's like your own personal like
body weight.
Pilates will lean you out too. Pilates will lean you out. Hot yoga is like a different beast. I normally do 60, and like that's nothing to me. Yeah. But 90 is the one that will put you on your ass. Like Ty had to walk out of the class because he'll do it with me.
Together? Oh my God.
It's good that you guys do it together though. I think that makes it like so much more.
It makes it more fun. Anyway, so
encourages you too when you have a partner.
It's like holding each other accountable, but it's like my one workout where I actually like love and I have so much fun doing it. Like yoga, I have found my thing. Like that is my thing. I've been doing it really strictly since January. Like that was my goal this year. But Pilates is my next thing to kind of dive into. Right?
Just do it.
I don't know where I want to go though.
Just find something close to you. That's what I recommend, and just commit to it. Like just do like start once a month.
Okay.
And then do like once every other week. And then pretty soon you're going to want to do it multiple times a day.
Because when you see a difference, for me, it's whenever I start to see like a difference in my body, I'm like, oh my God, I want to do it more. Like, it makes me want to do it so much more. It's addicting. Like seeing like your body change. I'm like, there's something very addicting about it. Like I love it.
That was one big thing for me because the hot yoga is right across the street from my house.
Oh.
But girl, if I'm driving 30 minutes, it's probably not going to happen. You know what I mean?
Like you close.
You have to figure out what works for you. And like you have to make it realistic to make it a lifestyle to get those real effects, I feel like.
Amen.
100%. Because like I feel like you need to make it your lifestyle. And that's when you see like real change. Because I feel like for me, like it was like, oh, I just have to work out. And now I'm like, it's part of my life. And I don't feel like I have to work out anymore. Like I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to work out because it's part of my routine.
And you love it.
And I love it. And I love seeing the difference. I love it. I literally and the thing is, what I love about it, not only for like the psychological benefits of like being out of my own head for a second, and I feel like I get the endorphins release and all that stuff. But
and you like what you see at the gym too.
And hello. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, I have never like been like more hit on, more stared at than I have as I am in this state of my life.
Well, you're
it's
posting like thirst traps, maybe that.
Shayla just calls it.
I love that. Shayla's like, let me just tell the truth to you.
Now I finally got a Virgo in the room.
It's a Virgo battle.
Man, he's like, I've never been hit on more. I'm like, you are posting.
I'm also posting literally my
you
asshole.
You have a thirst trap account. Absolutely.
I literally have a thirst trap account for a reason.
You do?
Well, it's not even a thirst trap account. It's just like my chill account. It's called like Manny Moon. It's like my other account.
Ooh, where you post like, are you naked in every
No, but I'll definitely post like
selfies,
lifting my shirt and things like that. Definitely more thoughty, if you will. For sure. But it's fun. Like I enjoy it. Like now I'm like, I actually feel more confident in my body now than I ever have.
Yes, you should show it off.
I should
you work for it, baby.
I work hard.
Show off your hard work.
That's
absolutely. Because
I'm not opposed to people showing their bodies. I'm like, do what you need to do.
Honestly, I want to see.
I need to.
Let me see.
I also subscribe to OnlyFans for no reason.
Are you on OnlyFans? You should.
No, I don't have my own. I have some people.
Oh, you subscribe.
I have some people for sure. To? Like mutuals, like friends of mine. Like that, I'm like, okay, I would never tell you that I'm on your OnlyFans, but like I have it because I want to know.
Who's your favorite? Look at Manny's like, I wasn't ready for this.
I wasn't prepared.
I'm like, this is our podcast.
I'm like, our podcast. I don't know if you guys saw the Tori Spelling thing where she said she was it Denise Richards? She's like
on
subscribed to Denise Richards, and she's talking about how she like So that's why I was like, ooh, who are you?
No, I for me it's like I just have like mutuals of like just gay guys. I've been mutuals forever. They're like, oh, I have OnlyFans, and I'm like, oh, I want to see what it like. I'm just curious. Like,
I want to sign up. I have not signed up, but I want to see like Tana's.
Same.
Like I need to know.
Like you want to see, like, because you want to see it.
She's on OnlyFans. Wow.
Absolutely, and she's done very well for herself.
Is she naked? Like, are they naked?
I don't
titties
know.
out.
Is it?
Titties out. Titties out.
How do you
like
know?
nipple areola?
But you can't screenshot it, right?
You can, because OnlyFans is a website. It's not an app.
So how come it hasn't gone?
Yeah.
Like,
Why did they not?
I don't know. I think that. I don't know why it doesn't. Because I can literally screenshot if I wanted to, like right now. I can go to my OnlyFans of people.
Why don't you start
like,
OnlyFans?
Boom. I don't know. I feel like it's not necessarily my journey. I get more focused on like other things. And I'm like, no, it's like, I feel like it's just another thing I have to deal with when I already feel like I'm already overwhelmed with Lunar, podcast, TikTok, like everything else. I'm like, oh, just like another thing that I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. My pit, because we're already in like the workout journey thing. I need to work on my legs more. That's my pit, because the other day I was like, Zaya was on my bed and I was watching TV and I was like, I'm just taking a nap, but my legs were crisscrossed, like fully like this. I'm talking like this, right?
I don't know why I'm laughing. I feel like this is gonna be funny.
So I'm literally like this. So Zaya's like here and I was like kind of watching TV, but I ended up falling asleep. Okay, fell asleep. I woke up like an hour later and I'm like, didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh my God, like so annoying. Like, why did I have to fall asleep like that? I turn over my legs to get off my bed. I collapsed. On the ground,
you didn't have circulation?
I had nothing. There was not even one blood cell in my legs. I literally get down. I fully collapsed on the ground, like on all fours, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" I've never had that happen before. Like I couldn't move my legs.
Circulation, not because you're not strong.
Maybe
it might be like you cut.
I was like, I literally like there was nothing there. Right. You guys, I could have went like this. Like there was no movement. I literally was like, am I okay?
Shayla said you had blood loss.
Yeah,
no, I had blood loss.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm like on the ground, I'm like, oh my God, like this has never happened before. I'm like freaking out. So then I try to stand. I couldn't stand. You guys, I don't know, because I had to crawl to my bathroom because I had to go pee. So I ended up crawling because I could move my knees, but I couldn't move my legs.
Do you have a camera in your
room? No, thank God I don't, because I honestly, part of me wishes I would just to see it. But I ended up crawling, and finally when I got to the bathroom, I could move, but I was like, what happened to me? I've never experienced anything like that before.
It's like you lost feeling.
I lost all sensation as if I literally had no motor function of my legs, and I've never experienced that before.
I would pay good money to see it.
Right.
I know you would. I know you would. But you guys, the second I went down on my knees, I was busting out laughing because I'm like, either I'm gonna cry or I'm gonna laugh. So I decided to laugh instead. So I laughed as I'm crawling. I'm like, you guys, this can't be fucking real. This is a fucking surreal life. But I was like, I couldn't believe that I lost all that circulation.
And that was your pit.
But I thought it was.
Pit, yeah.
But see, I thought it was like because I wasn't strong. But now I feel like, oh, it's a circulation.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, I have to work out my legs. I have to work out my legs.
You got a different.
It's a different thing. It's a different issue. I'm like, you know what? I should go to the hospital.
Right.
I should go to the doctor for that.
Were your legs blue?
No, they weren't blue, but like when I finally was able to stand up, they were like kind of shaky, and they had like the tingles all like the whole tingling the whole way down.
You know what? If your legs go to sleep because of blood loss, they do lose motor function.
Yeah.
It was gone. Yeah. You guys, I've never in my whole life experienced like that before. And I was like, oh my God, like, no, there's no way. But I was like completely, they were immobile. I was like, move. Like your body, you can just make things move. I couldn't move them.
Dang.
Immovable.
All right, Shayla, what's your
peak?
Give us something good.
Ooh, something good. Oh, the pressure.
No pressure. No pressure.
The pressure.
Much worse.
Okay, so I was thinking about this before I got here, and I feel like before TikTok really blew up, I feel like social media wasn't really a strength of mine. Even though I had like the numbers, it wasn't a strength of mine. YouTube wasn't a strength of mine. And I feel like I'm so happy with creating content, especially on TikTok, and just like realizing that that's kind of like a peak for me.
That's so crazy to hear.
Yeah, it's just like I'm having so much fun creating now.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, whereas before, I don't want to say it wasn't fun, but it was more of like a chore.
Yeah.
And now it's not a chore. Also, I just feel so blessed. Like I wake up, I get to do what I want to do every single day. You know, yeah, so every day is kind of a peak. Getting up, walking my dog.
You're like in a really good space.
I'm in like a really good space, yeah.
No, I really, the reason I'm saying like, oh my God, I'm shocked because like.
A lot of people hate it.
No, it's not that they hate it. It's just like, I would have thought like that you being on social media all the years before, I was like, oh, she's just killing it. Like, so in my mind, you being like, oh, I just felt like I'm the best version of me now. Going through the motions.
I was going through the motions.
So, and sometimes I get in that too, and I'm just like, I get overwhelmed, and I kind of like compare myself to other people. I'm like, oh my God, I bet they're not going through the motions like I am. Like, I'm just like going through the gigs right now, and everyone's just like, look how easy it is for them.
Yeah.
So like you saying that, I'm like, oh wow, like it's not.
I feel like I can relate to that a little bit too, because I've always leaned a little heavier on personality and humor-based content. That's why I've always been more of a YouTuber than an Instagrammer. More than anything, I've been a YouTuber because it's like, it's like less about the glamour, more about like vlogging your life and showing everything and being funny and personality-based. So I always, like, I used to make skits back in the day and make stupid stuff, but they're just honestly really, besides YouTube, was never a place for that to land, because Instagram honestly is not about that. Like, it's about baddie land, like show off, slay, like that's what Instagram was. And like when TikTok came along, I was like, this is about to be real easy for me, because this is what I needed. Like, you can post anything on there and people like accept it more, you know
TikTok
what I mean?
is like the app where you just let your guard down, you can be real authentic. I love that. Like, I love filming content without makeup on, just like whatever, I love that. I just love how real it is.
I do too. And TikTok, it's so much more fun. You can kind of treat it almost like an IG story. Not everything has to be so perfect and edited and cool. You know what I mean? It can be so raw, and you just like upload it up there and it actually does something.
It's so fun. I love it there.
I actually feel better when I'm not even like over editing things on TikTok. I feel like things even perform better when I'm just the most like unedited version of myself on TikTok specifically.
And that's another thing. I'm so over all the edits, like Facetune.
Oh,
like,
girl.
Like when I see people over Facetune, I'm like, okay,
this
is bringing me I don't even have the Face app, but I've seen it, and I'm like,
and you can clock it now. Like once you've used Face app, you're like, oh, I know what Face app is.
animated. Like you don't.
Well, everybody looks like the same person because it does the same thing to everyone's face. Yeah. So I'm like, we all look the same,
and it's almost like giving like 2016 when people over edit. Everything.
Remember adding the white on the highlight? I did that. I would add tone.
We all did all that. I was on Facetune doing it all.
Girl,
same.
The poor thing for me was I was not very good at Facetune, and you had to have skill at Facetune because it didn't do the work for you.
It was an art form.
It didn't do the work for you. So I've roasted my old pictures where I've completely botched myself. Thinking I looked better.
Right. And there's a lot of celebrities still doing that.
I don't even use Facetune anymore. Yeah. I mean,
I don't honestly really either.
I'll use it to blur people in the background.
Yeah.
Feature.
Yeah. I'll like add like sunset, like where I'll add like to make myself look more tan.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, like that's all I will ever really do to it. Oh, I've never used Snapseed before.
Snapseed's good for like saturation and all that.
Yeah.
Snapseed.
Lightening up the background.
Sponsor full coverage.
Right,
Sponsor full coverage. Sponsor us, y'all.
I don't even know if people use Snapseed like that, but it's one of those like go-tos just for like saturation and like a little some.
It also brightens the background of your pictures really nicely. Like you can hit certain spots and brighten them up. It's a good one.
Okay.
It's old. It's kind of old. Yeah.
It is old. It is old.
This episode of Full Coverage is sponsored by Every Plate. You guys, Every Plate is America's best value meal kit, as it's 25% cheaper than grocery shopping and 58% cheaper than your average takeout meal. With Every Plate, you save not only money, but also time. Honestly, the worst part about cooking is the prep work. Let me tell you, it's literally the worst. It can take hours to make a meal just to scarf it down in 20 minutes. Sometimes it's just not worth it. But with Every Plate, you can make dinner ready in about 30 minutes or even 15 minutes, depending on the recipe. So you can put something fast and flavorful on the table in no time, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Another bonus with Every Plate is the ability to customize your meals. So for example, if you didn't want chicken, instead you wanted beef, you can easily swap things out, which I think is so cool. They also have 25 recipes to choose from. So you guys can get started today with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code FULL149. For up to $110 in value, go to everyplate.com/podcast and enter code FULL149 to get your Every Plate delivered right to your door for just $149 per meal.
Am I in peak now? Oh yeah.
You are.
I went on a date this week. You guys, okay, so let me talk about how we met though, because how we met is I feel like more interesting than the date itself.
Oh, I know this story.
So you know what happened. Okay. I'm going to try to keep it like PG because
you're going to get us demonetized.
I'm going to get us demonetized. No, so we met at the gym.
Here we go.
Of course. Of course.
The gym has become very social for me. You know, it's become very social. It's a social place. So
or you go
it's
there
late at
to
night.
Meet people.
I mean, why not? And if anything,
As
I should be meeting like guys there. I'm like, why the hell not?
Is it ever awkward to like meet someone there, go on a date, it doesn't end up work out, and then you see them?
No, because honestly,
that's what would bother me.
For me, like gay culture, I feel like it tends to be like if it doesn't work out, you tend to just become friends. Like,
got it.
And it's kind of easy to kind of go into, unless you've like literally dated and were boyfriends, like you don't really have a lot of issues.
That makes sense.
But like if it doesn't work out, like, oh hey, like we'll be buddies and we'll keep it cute, keep it moving, you know, or like you literally sleep together and become friends after.
Okay,
that's gay culture.
I love that.
I kind of that seems easy.
It's just a lot more like chill in that way. So I worked out. It's like 9 o'clock. I'm like, you know what? It's super late. I'm gonna go to the sauna, which is like the hot version. So it's like there's no steam. It's just like
clear.
Air. It's just clear. It's clear, right? So then
I know why you went in there.
It's clear. No, see, I was like, the thing is, like, I can't do anything here. I'm like, I'm too scared that someone could walk in and it's too clear. Like. It's too open. Like, it feels like freaky. So I walked in and there was only one person in there. And it was me and I had a towel on.
Oh, okay.
Towel only.
I need to set the scene. I'm like,
you're setting the scene. It's literally towel. I have a towel on and I'm like sitting against like
nothing underneath.
Like, nothing underneath. I'm just like this. Just like sitting against the thing, sitting back. And there's someone right across from me. And I had like kind of like, you know when you like kind of like peek your eye, I opened my eyes and he was like looking at me and I was like,
I feel like you had an agenda going into that hot room.
I didn't have a agenda.
You're like, I'm not gonna wear shorts.
I go into the sauna like literally almost every time after I work out, and there's no agenda. I'm like, just want to go. Yeah, the sauna.
Hot room.
That it is a hot room. It's like literally
it's
you go in and it's literally hot. I don't know what that's called.
Do you guys always go into the sauna naked? I wear something
like a swimsuit or something.
Yeah.
Guys always go in naked.
Okay.
All or maybe they'll have like a pair of like.
Now I'm trying to catch you up.
Undies.
I'm like,
maybe
Ty is disagreeing.
You don't go. You don't go into them. That's why.
He said not.
You don't go into them.
I feel like guys wear swim trunks.
Or they'll put swim trunks underneath. So it just kind of depends.
Naked.
I went naked because I'm like I'm trying to get more comfortable in my body. So I'm like I'm gonna go naked.
But
don't
also
care.
you're like whatever happens.
But also like, whatever happens.
Yeah.
Like, who fucking cares? I'm not going in expecting anything. But if it happens, lovely.
Right.
You know, whatever. Don't care. So I go in. I'm like sitting across from him. And my eyes like kind of peek over. I'm like, okay, no, I'm trying to be like good, but it's getting late. And you know, demon time, that's a thing.
It was demon hour.
It was like maybe like 9:30, almost 10.
Oh,
so
you
I'm like,
knew what you were doing up there.
It's like getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to be good here, but it's getting a little rough. So I remember like looking at him and he was looking at me and I was like kind of like looking to the side. I'm like, fuck, like what's going to go on? And then, so someone was outside, a worker was outside, like right outside the door with cleaning. So I'm like, okay, I would not do anything when there's someone right there.
Right.
So I was like, I have to be good. I'm not going to even like start it. But I remember seeing him and he had like lifted his towel to like wipe his face because he was like sweating, naked? Fully naked, dick out, rock hard.
He did that on purpose.
I think it was on purpose for sure.
For sure.
Who does that?
I don't know if you're cruising.
I feel like most people kind of keep it covered and use the other hand.
I'm the one that keeps it covered and I'll use the other hand. Honey. For sure. So I'm like, oh, like he, like, that had to be a sign. I thought the same thing. So I'm like, okay, you literally just like showed off to me. Like, obviously, you're into me in some capacity.
And this is the guy you went on a date with.
Before. Yeah, so this is happening before. So I ended up like leaving to go like shower and then I go back to my locker and his locker was literally like right across from mine. And so I was changing and I had like turned around, finally got dressed and I was like, oh, hey, I'm Manny and like, nice to meet you. And he's like, oh, hey. And then I was like, oh my God, I was so bold. I can't believe. Sometimes I can't even believe myself. I was like, I think you're so sexy, by the way. I literally was like, I think you're so sexy.
Wait, you need to go back because there was a little bit of action that happened in the same room.
Wait, what?
There was a little something.
You're on the prowl, honey. What happened?
He can't say the words, but there was some...
Like was someone on their knees?
No, okay, so no, because I had like I had finally like looked at him when he had moved, and I was like, I was into it, but I was like, I can't do anything obviously because there's someone like literally right outside. I couldn't do anything. But he knew. But he no. But he knew. He knew I was like checking him out, and so when I was getting up, I had like got my towel and like wiped my face. My dick's out.
You were like,
See?
I was kind of like wiping my face so like he saw that I was hard because he made me hard, right? So I'm like, okay, so like now there's like he knows that I'm into it and I know he's into it. So when I went to the back and then I was like changing whatever got of it, and I was like, by the way, I think you're sexy, and he's like, we should like go out sometime, and so we went on a date, and so we're just like still talking.
And how was the date?
It was good.
It was good.
We had a good time. He's out of town right now, but he's like, when I get back, like, let's hang out again. We'd love to see you.
Is there age difference or?
We're like literally the same age.
Oh, that's
which makes
so
it
nice.
Like literally hallelujah. Because I swear to God, it's always like the youngins.
They're
trying
always
to come for
21.
Me. They're always trying to come. No, literally, all the youngins are always after me now.
Goodness.
And that wasn't how it was before. Literally. Yeah. I'm like, how old are you? They're like 22. I'm like,
you're like, oh Lord.
You're like,
and I'm like, literally, like, I'm like, get away from me. Like, I wouldn't even date anyone like younger than like 26.
Ooh.
So now I'm like, stop.
Is he
but all
in the industry or?
No,
Ooh,
which is even better.
Yeah,
like
that's good.
he's kind of out of it, which is really nice. So I'm gonna fill you guys in, see what the tea is. Don't know what's gonna go on yet, but at least we've like seen each other naked.
Right.
So I wasn't even nervous on the date because I'm like, yo, you've literally seen like my cock.
I mean,
what? Like I'm not. Now I'm like, I don't need to be shy.
Period.
And he goes like, afterwards he told me, he's like, I love your dick. I was like,
God.
he told me that.
I feel like that just your confidence all the way.
I was like,
I know.
do?
You guys got the hard part out of the way.
The hard part's like literally the hard part is out of the way.
Quickly. Very quickly.
Yeah, so now we're going to just continue and see what's up. But I was like, nothing actually happened, obviously, because
I feel like I need to see a picture of him now.
I know, I want to see it.
I'll show you guys both the photo.
We need
I'll
a
show you guys a photo of him so you can see what he looks like. But super cute, great smile, which is like a huge turn on to me. So
Ooh,
we'll see how it goes. That's the peak.
That was a big peak.
Yeah. Yeah. Like peaks and valleys.
My
peaks and valleys.
So lame after that.
And the thing is, I wasn't even gonna say that I flashed him my dick either, but Laura's like, come on.
I mean, I'm like, you're gonna
That's what we want to hear.
Yes,
I know.
you're gonna tell him.
But I was like, no, because if you're my family members, I'm so sorry.
Or are they watching?
A lot of my family members love to watch this. I'm like, stop, don't watch this episode.
I mean, you're grown. You know?
I'm a grown ass man.
Like, you're grown.
I gotta live my life.
Right.
You do.
Just don't listen.
I feel like if they don't want to know, then
don't watch.
You know, they're gonna have to fast forward.
Yeah, fast forward.
My pit, because I'm on my pit now. Shayla will just love this. So I have a cat that pisses everywhere. Girl, we have done everything.
That's like my worst nightmare. A cat that pees everywhere.
And I've never in my whole entire I'm like crazy cat lady, so I've never, it was just shocking. I've never had a cat that does this before.
Is it neutered or spayed?
It is. I even took it to the vet because I was like, is something wrong with him? Or did y'all not neuter everything? Like, because I've had boy cats, you get them neutered, they're great. They're like the best cats, but this one is my challenging one. So we put him in his own room with a heated cat house and his own litter box and like food and everything to sleep at night. So you can't be wandering around my house because we have to keep an eye out for Selena while he's in the house because we're like, you're not peeing in my house.
Are your other cats girl?
A girl and a boy, and they're angels. They would never do that.
He's marking his territory.
He is. That's what the vet told us. They were like, he doesn't like your other boy cat. So we were like, let me get him his own litter box. And then he still does it. So we were like, he's broken. And they were like, yeah. And so.
Can you return him or?
I mean,
return to sender. Not return to sender.
I mean, I have a very kind family. I'm just kidding.
How long have you had the boy?
I probably had him for like 2.5 years now, so he's mine. You're like, that's not 10 years.
That's not 10.
That's not like 10 years. He's also missing a leg, so no one's gonna want him.
See, like he's a sweet angel though. Like he actually is a sweet angel.
That's what sucks. He's like the sweetest cat in the world.
And he literally has no little leg.
I know, it's a little leg.
Like
so
that breaks your heart.
Ain't nobody gonna want to piss in missing leg cat. You know he's mine for life.
A pirate pisser cat.
That's not a pirate.
He literally. Everybody's always like, he's hurt. I'm like, no. He was born that way.
He's missing a leg.
Yes, I'm like, he's missing a whole leg.
Poor guy.
Yes, every time people come over, they're like, your cat's limping, and I'm like, oh, he didn't have a leg there. He's okay. He doesn't know that, but anyway, so he pees everywhere. So we put him in his own room to sleep at night. So he's not peeing everywhere. My other cats are great, and so I feel bad about it because I love my animals so much. Like I feel guilty. So I was like, it's been months. Let's just see if we let him out one night because we had a problem with him peeing on me in the bed, getting in the bed.
Oh, like while you sleep?
I know, and it's like a full pee too. It's not like a sprinkle. It's like he
let it
wetting all the way down through, which we have a mattress cover luckily that catches it. But girl,
that's trauma.
Girl, that's another level.
That's another level. Like he's trying to send a message.
He's like low key almost peed on my head before because he's peed like right by my pillow. So I'm crazy
that smell
right.
Too.
Ooh,
it's rank. That's just rank.
The wetness didn't even wake me up. The scent was so strong that
I feel like there's something like he's trying to tell you something.
Well, I talked to the vet and they said that it's whenever they like pee on you, I'm like, oh great, tell me more. But they were like, it is like him being secure. Like that's him.
He's like, oh, thank goodness I can pee.
Yes, like I'm peeing on her, which makes me feel secure here. So I'm like,
I hate that.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Don't feel secure here then.
Like that's terrible.
He definitely has PTSD.
For sure.
Literally. He was rescued as a kitten and I think he went through some things because some homeless people dead ass had him before.
Before the leg came off?
He was born without it.
Oh.
Yeah, the vet
cord.
Because the paddings on the end of animals' feet, he has one little piece of padding on the nub. So the vet was like, oh no, you'll crack
it's
up.
It's a nub pad.
Wait, that's so funny.
Yes, because we asked the vet, we were like, when we had him as a baby and we got him, we were like, did his leg get chopped off? And they were like, no, you can tell he was born like this. And we were like,
so you didn't know at first?
Well, right whenever I saw him, it was like that. So I was, I was like, I felt like that could have been, but of course my mind went to the worst. I was like, his leg got chopped off.
Right.
So the other night, this was like last week, I was like, I feel so bad putting him in his room because all the other cats sleep with us. I was like, should we just let and see if one night, if he'll stay downstairs downstairs and just sleep in his bed and be a good boy. And I talked him into it. Yeah, big mistake. I went to bed at midnight, and by 1:30 in the morning, that cat was already on top of me, pissing all over me. And
you woke up at 1:30?
Yes.
Oh, that's traumatizing.
Oh, and
on
having to, on my body, on my covers, and went through to my body. And I, of course, had to, we had to get up at 1:30 and take your whole bed apart. You ain't going back to sleep.
Right.
I was I was like, boo-boo, this is why your ass goes in your room and you'll never get to stay with me again. I'm sorry. Like you're on restriction for life. Like I'm never trying it again. That was my last straw with him because it had been like 3 months.
Cats. I can't.
Well,
but most cats don't do that. That's the
only cat that has ever done this in my entire life. I've never dealt with something like this before.
What if you just close your door? Let him.
So I was telling this to Manny. So if you close our bedroom door, our cats, they jerk the door all night.
Trying to open it.
So you'll hear hardcore rattling all night. It's a game for them. They love that shit. They're go ahead and close that door.
And see what happens.
Go ahead and close that door.
Oh, no.
Yes, because cats are nocturnal. So they stay up all night. But I can't have a dog because I know you have a baby you love. But I can't have a dog because it's just too much for me.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
Cats, we literally just feed them.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And they live. And they're fine.
They're happy.
Very self-sufficient.
Extremely self-sufficient animals. My cats literally even wash their own dishes. I'm just kidding. They don't, but
yeah, no, seriously, no, literally, they're so good.
That is my pit. This cat is literally gonna make me climb a wall, but that's okay. Now I know never again. That was it.
Now that was your 13th reason.
That was my check. My last check. Yeah.
Is that show still on?
No.
You know that show?
13 reasons why.
Absolutely, but no. Okay, so now that we are done with our peaks and pits, we have to start in our little questions portion because we have a couple questions we wanted to ask you so the girlies at home get to figure out what's going on. We want to know how and when did you start Makeup by Shayla? How did that come to be?
It's MakeupShayla.
MakeupShayla.
MakeupShayla. It is
MakeupShayla.
It doesn't matter, So I honestly, I don't know how many years ago. I feel like it was in my mind, I'm it was only a couple years ago, but I think it was 7, 8 years ago.
In reality, it's no, it's much longer.
It might have been 10 years ago, I don't know, but I feel like I really started kind of on Instagram, and everyone's you should be on YouTube, but I used to work at Mac.
You were a Mac girly.
I was a Mac girly. I started Instagram because I wanted to get my name out there so I can book more clients for weddings.
I did not know you were a Mac girly.
I was a Mac girly, freelance artist. I did some D-list celebrities, B-list.
B-list? We got to B?
I got B. I'm trying to think. Maybe around there.
Yeah.
And that was my goal. I was I'm gonna be a makeup artist. I want to do this. And then after a while, I was listen, I can't hear these people's problems. I can't make you look like Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Oh, I bet every girl in that time.
Everyone. Make me look like Kim. I'm you need to get some work done.
Yeah, I was
we can't. Like Kim.
We can only do so much.
Yeah. Botox first.
I'm not a wizard.
Right. Nose job second. No, I'm serious. It was just really stressful, and I fell out of love with it. And then that was kind of the same time my Instagram was taking off. So I started posting on Instagram. And then that's kind of, I feel like the rest is history. I feel like everyone kind of has that similar story.
Especially at that time. Back then, that's kind of what the story was.
Right. And it just got to a point where I was okay, I need to pick. I'm either going to be a freelance makeup artist or pursue this career. And that's when I feel like I was kind of forced to start YouTube because that was oh, this is what you should do. Get on YouTube.
The next big thing.
That's the next thing. And I just, I haven't posted on YouTube, uploaded a video in a year.
But you're so consistent on other apps.
Yeah,
exactly.
But everyone's come back to YouTube. I'm but no one's over there.
It's a beast too,
and it's hard. It's fucking hard to make long form content. To sit, the editing, the whole. It's just so different.
It is
making YouTube long form content just takes so much time.
That
sometimes I'm I don't even feel like filming a YouTube video. I was can I just do a reel instead, or can I just do a TikTok instead?
And it's not fast. As funny. It's just not for me. It's just not as fun and funny, and it's just so much work.
Right. You're not literally as fulfilled with YouTube compared.
That's the word. YouTube never fulfilled me.
Yeah.
I felt like it was just something I had to do. But TikTok and Reels, videos.
Got you together.
Love it.
So you still like doing video content, just not in the most long form.
I love short form.
Short form.
I feel like it's just easier. It's fun. I like editing on my phone.
A little splice action.
Yeah. Not me telling my story in 2 seconds. I was so basically. I was
Don't worry. No more questions.
That's how it was. That's how it was for me. I was on Mac. I worked at Mac. Same thing, like started on Instagram, wanted to get my name out there. Then I was like, okay, let me pivot to YouTube.
Wait, did you love Mac?
Okay, listen, I worked at Sephora first, so for a year, and then I was like,
me too,
I need to work at you too.
I worked for like maybe 1 or 2 years.
Okay, period.
I don't ever like talk. I worked at Sephora because I feel like that was like a very small stepping stone.
That's how I felt.
But that's how I started. I was like, oh, I really like makeup. I worked at Sephora.
But Mac was probably like the real.
Mac was like, oh, like you should work there.
If you work at Mac, you're like, oh,
that's where the it girls are working.
That's
where the bad bitches are working.
10 years ago, if you were a Mac girl, you're like,
you were like a celebrity back then.
Literally,
Mac was the one. You would wait in line at Mac for their stuff.
They were that girl.
And I don't want to say I was such a little bitch working there, but after a while, you're like...
Did you fit into the Mac, like, girly, like, standard, like, hey, you can help yourself, you're fine?
No, I feel like I always... Because I worked at Nordstrom, so I always gave good customer service.
Yeah.
But people would come in, they'd be like, I want a red lipstick. I'm like, okay, Ruby Roo,
like
Russia
you knew,
red,
like, you had your, like, routine.
And they're like, oh, but I want this. I'm like, that's pink. So do you want red or pink? That's snob.
That's fuchsia.
That's snob lipstick.
That's myth. You want red.
Right. That's myth.
That's myth.
That's chalk.
Right. So do you want a red lipstick or do you want a pink? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, but I'm like, red or pink?
So that makes sense. You're just kind of like, okay, I know. It's like when you work at Mac, you're like, I know my shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I know best. Like that's what you're here for. Like kind of like.
But I feel like I gave really good customer service. I did. And I'd be like, okay, look around. Tell me if you want red or pink.
Yes.
And I'll be back.
And I'll help you out. Do you want Russian red or kind of sexy?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's
I don't have time for this.
I was a freelancer at Mac, so I didn't actually stick to one store. I was always going around constantly at different stores, and I liked it because I was like, it was always kind of different, and I always had like 4 to 5 shifts a week.
Oh,
like I was like a freelancer that everyone was like booking. I didn't have sales goals.
You didn't have sales goals.
That's nice.
When you have sales goals, it's a different game.
It's a different game.
Like I don't want to say I hated it.
That would send me into a rage.
Yeah, that's rough.
But towards the end of my career, like my manager was such a bitch. How long were you there for? Years working at the counter, and I never like graduated to a manager because I always freelance, and I would use Mac to get clients. Like I'd be like, people would come in and we'd be like, oh yeah, I'll do your makeup. Card. Yeah, I'll do your makeup.
Absolutely.
I would even I don't know if this is shady or not, but people would come to me and be like, oh, like I have a wedding. I'm like, yeah, come do your trial at the counter, and like you can just, if you want to tip me, you can, whatever. But
if you want, like who cares?
Just
whatever.
Come and like I'll do the trial there, and they would always tip me. Let me tell you what I would do.
Give us a real tip.
I would have my brush belt, and I would leave it there. They'd be like, oh, I want to tip you, or I would charge them. I'm like, come to the counter. And I'll charge you $50.
Yeah.
And I would leave my brush belt, and they would just put the money in there.
Wow.
This is a drug deal.
It was a drug deal.
It's giving smuggling, like a little like.
She's smuggling tips.
Smuggling tips.
Yeah, I'd be like.
But also, like, there was nothing. I don't think there was anything against like getting tips at Mac though.
No, you weren't supposed to.
Were you not supposed to?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to. Yeah, no.
Oh, period. I didn't even know that.
But it's like one of those things where if I'm like, well, they forced it. They like left it there. And
what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? No, there are a lot of things that were like illegal when you worked at Mac. Like that I did. Because I was like, I'm literally starving.
Yeah.
You're a starving artist, literally.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. I have so many Mac stories.
That's a gag.
I'm so gagged. Mac would hate me. Like, no, I've told them. Like, I've met like.
I'm sure that you've told all the stories.
She's like, I told the CEO. It's fine.
Yeah, I know I did.
It's fine. Like, you know, you do what you had to do to survive.
I would sample out products, take it home. You know.
That was me at Sephora all the time. They would like, you would have like little, no, not sample it out, but I would get like these little jars, and I would like, if I didn't have money. I worked at Sephora. I was like, I really like this moisturizer. I can't afford it. I would constantly get like little samples and just keep refilling my sample little jar every like 2 weeks, so I can just keep using the product.
That's the same as stealing and sampling it.
Yeah,
in a way, which is like so sad to think about it now. I'm like, oh my god.
Do you guys remember back to Mac when you can return your empty containers? Honey, I used to be like my girlfriends. I'd be like, pop the eyeshadows out.
Bring them over here.
Free lipstick this week.
I'll never forget that. Yeah,
absolutely. That was my days. That's what I went through back from Mac to get free makeup.
Yeah,
I love they had such amazing things like that Mac AIDS Fund. Like there was so many amazing things that Mac did that
I turn it around. He's like, yeah, and Mac is amazing.
Mac is like the amazing company that is so many
when I worked there, like I really was happy working there.
Oh, I love that.
You know, and like I really did enjoy it, and there was something so cool about being able to go somewhere that I was fully glam, especially like growing up, like the way I grew up, like it was not accepted. So having people that didn't even think anything of it was like, oh, this is so like a different world for me. So I really did enjoy the aspect of it. But towards the end, I was like, yo, like I'm getting recognized like 10 times a shift. Like I'm gonna switch over to social.
Oh, that's good though.
That's what I ended up doing.
You got famous, babes.
I don't know about that, but definitely more recognized.
Okay, we have. I want to know I have some juicy questions for you.
Let me get some water.
Get a sip first, me too.
Embrace yourself because I have some juicy questions. So, Shayla, you're someone who's been on a lot of brand trips. You're an OG, as are we, and we did the brand trip era. Yeah, and
I'm still like, if brands want to send me on a trip, I'm still down.
You guys can call her. You guys can call her.
Feel free to call her.
As are we.
We are too. We are too. Actually, I just turned down a brand deal recently. Brand trip. Well, I couldn't go.
Where?
You're like, where? I couldn't go. It was the one that was in with benefit going to.
Oh, I got invited to that too.
But I couldn't go.
I couldn't go either.
Like I literally, I was like, Shayla, I have another trip going. Why didn't you go?
Okay, I love benefit. I do. But they're asking way too much. I was like, y'all are smoking crack.
But the thing is, though, a lot of the times with the brands, like with the contracts, like that's like the blanket contract for everyone. I think that your team can definitely like lower the ask.
You can negotiate them, but I
no, there was no lowering. We tried.
Oh, T. Never mind then.
It was kind of like, no, this is what we need. And I was like, okay. I love benefit.
Yeah.
Also, I have a wait.
Don't get crazy. Shayla's getting crazy. She's getting crazy.
Okay, I do like benefit.
She's just gonna say but.
But the whole dressing up thing.
Yeah.
Like you guys went to Vegas.
the Vegas.
She's gonna kill me.
You went to Vegas.
Vegas.
I'm not gonna listen. You don't have to say anything. And I saw the way you guys had to dress up as showgirls. I said absolutely the fuck not. Like I would have been like, I'm not doing this. Okay.
I couldn't make the Vegas trip.
You couldn't?
I just couldn't make it.
She literally couldn't make it.
I read the itinerary and I said, oh.
I just feel like we're too grown to be dressing up. Like, I feel like everyone
understand.
Like, why are we dressing up?
I understand. I know. I think that like what benefit is good at is like having experiences. No, it's not even that. I feel like they're really good at having experiences, and it's like if you want to get into that experience, like you can. But I think that if I was like, hey, I don't want to do it, they wouldn't have made me do it. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm already here.
But then I feel like, what's the point in going if you're like not gonna do it? And that's why I was like, I already did kind of have stuff going on. Could I have swinged this trip? Sure. I saw the itinerary and I was like, honestly, I'm just not there to do this. Like and then I ended up going that weekend with my friends and doing what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Going to my clubs, going to the shows, going to the restaurants I wanted to go to, because brand trips are a lot more than you see. Like it's a lot of work.
But I feel like Hawaii, the brand trip they went to, look, I'm like, benefit. I love Hawaii.
I'm just kidding.
Hawaii was good because we didn't have to do it. Like, don't make me do stupid shit.
Right.
Hawaii was a good trip.
That was fun.
It was amazing.
I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
I feel like
that was probably one of their
I loved
best
their lunch too. The blushes, like I'm like, I loved your lunch. I loved the trip. Everything about it was like, this is amazing.
But it's like every other trip, they make you dress up as something stupid, and I'm not.
And you're like, I'm not doing it. Don't want to do it.
I may have done it if I was like 18 or 19 though. Like if I was like that age, and they were like, we're gonna dress up as showgirls.
With your mom there? Yeah.
12. I'm just kidding. No,
It was like a talent show.
I love benefit.
But I do love benefit.
But I love that. That's you. You don't know what you love, but I love you, benefit.
I love you, benefit. But
I mean, listen, we love the people at benefit.
Oh, I love the people at benefit.
I love the products, but it's just like sometimes like their schedule and like what they want don't collide with our interest. And that's just like the facts on the table.
It's true, T.
Brand trip drama, there is circulating, and I have heard.
Let's go and talk about that.
Whiskey. I want to talk about whiskey. So Shayla went on a brand
Whiskey-gate. Let's talk about Whiskey-gate.
That the internet doesn't know about, and a lot of us do know about. There was a Whiskey-gate that went down on a brand trip, and Shayla's involved.
Yes.
And she told me I could ask this, by the way. I'm not.
Yeah. We're not just being shady. Like, we're allowed to ask this.
I'm not wrecking her right now.
I said, let's talk about it.
Yeah, she said, let's talk about it. So I'm going to ask. So there was a whiskey drama on a brand trip. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so this is definitely something circulating within the beauty community.
The community. Behind the scenes.
So we went to, I think it was Saint-Tropez.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Saint-Tropez?
I was not there.
South of France. Oh,
we were not
there. So you almost forget who's on the trips.
100%. It's a blur.
So we were in Saint-Tropez. And this was like a mix between fashion and beauty influencers. Mm-hmm. It was with Laura Mercier. I'm going to say Laura because they probably won't ever work with me.
Okay. She said, you know what? They ain't gonna work with me anyway.
They're probably never gonna work with me again. It wasn't.
Shayla needs a podcast.
Right.
Because she's feeling the real tea.
Where's your podcast right
I know.
now?
Maybe I should get a podcast.
No, seriously.
It wasn't so much the brand, it was the people that work for the brand. Okay.
Got it. At the time. So this is years ago though, right?
This was years ago. Like
Yeah.
But the
3,
people
4.
that work for the brand are the brand and they make the brand. I'm
True,
sorry.
they should
I'm
have
gonna
the
say it. I'm gonna say it.
You're right. They should have the same values. Okay. So it was like night 1. And we're at like a dinner, like a welcome dinner or whatever.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, we have wine. Da, da. And Les is a whiskey drinker. And he's like, oh, do you guys have any whiskey? And the waiter brings out a bottle of whiskey. It was like Hibiki. The bottle in the US was probably like $250 to $500. Okay. It wasn't the whole bottle. So I feel like it wasn't that much. But for them, it was like a $5,000 bottle of whiskey. He brought out the whole bottle.
So it's expensive there, but not expensive here.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's where it was like kind of shady.
Oh, okay, got it. So
So the bottle was probably like half full. All the guys, everyone's guy that was there saw the bottle and they're like, oh, I'll have one too. I'll have one too. They finished the bottle. Okay. But Les was the one who ordered it.
Okay.
And Les even told them like, hey, like, is it okay that we're drinking this? And whoever was in charge, I don't remember who it was. He was like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, totally. Finish the bottle.
In charge of the brand. And this is like asking the brand if they can do it. Because a lot of times you guys, by the way, on brand trips, the brands are covering everything there. So you're like, obviously respectfully like, hey, is this okay? Like this bottle could be, is this expensive in the States? Like just as a preface.
Right. So each glass was probably like, I'm guessing maybe like $200 a pour. Maybe.
Okay.
That's like at the most. I don't know.
Got it.
But Les told me he's like, that wasn't like super expensive. So that's where it gets a little like, I don't know what happened. So basically they approve it. Everyone pours up. They finish the bottle. The next day, Les is at the bar with all the guys. And he's like, yeah, we're ordering drinks before we go out. And they said like, we went over budget. And I was like, what? You went over budget?
I've never heard this on a brunch show before either.
I'm like, if you guys are broke, just say that. If you're broke, just say it. Okay? And that's basically what they said. They said, we went over budget. So I told Les, I was like, okay, just charge it to the room. And they're like, you can't charge it to the room. I'm like,
oh, okay, you can't charge it to your room?
Couldn't charge it to the room because they have their card on the room.
Oh,
literally,
right?
No coins.
Got it.
So Les paid for it, and then we're kind of confused. We're like, "What happened?" And then I asked the guy, I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "Yeah, you guys went over budget." He was kind of a little bitch about it. He was like, "Yeah, I went over budget." I was like, and I feel like the blame was
like the drink budget.
And this was a brand member that said this.
The brand manager was like, "Yeah, you guys went over budget, so you have to buy your own drinks."
For the rest of the trip?
Oh, and this is night 1.
And I was just like, so night 1 is when the bottle was
fiasco.
Yeah. And then so the next morning it was like, yeah, you guys went over budget. Okay. So I was like, oh, like this is, I've never heard of this.
This is news to me.
Whatever. We'll buy our own drinks. We go on the excursions. They were working us, by the way. It was like morning, noon, night.
It was one of those trips.
One of those trips where it was like, dang, like I need a minute to like relax, to breathe, to soak it in, whatever, to create content, organic content.
They're the ones that like, we want 3 experiences
every
day.
And they're like, oh, here's the setup. Take a picture here. I don't like doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that happened. And then, okay, so night 1 happened. The next day we had all these activities. That night, everyone's in our room.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
And we order room service. I'm sorry, you guys, there's no money.
No.
You're kidding.
We couldn't order room service.
You're lying.
And I was on keto at the time.
I know the story. I forgot that.
I was on keto at the time, so I couldn't like eat. I wasn't eating a lot of carbs, so I was like literally starving.
Like you're at your like Ozempic breaking
skinny.
point.
I was Ozempic skinny.
You were skinny mini.
I was like, okay. So everyone's at our room and we're like, so I text, they're like, no food, you can't order room service. And I text the brand person. I was like, hey, like we're all here at the room, we can't order anything. And she brings like wine. She's like, here, this is like what we have. Kind of like here.
Scrounging snacks together.
Yeah, not even snacks, it was just wine.
Oh.
Here, like, God. Like kind of like we were just like
over it.
Like you guys were inconveniencing them.
Right. And it's like, how you guys are asking for so much, right? So yeah, that was Laura Mercier. I'm literally spilling the tea. I've never told anyone that publicly.
That is
crazy. Yeah.
I'm like,
I didn't know the story with all those details because anytime we talk about it, you know, it just like hits the point with the whiskey. I didn't know about the food. I didn't know about anything else.
So what did you guys end up like doing? Like, did you guys not to get to eat after, or is it only getting to eat when the brand's there like, at dinners?
So when we first got to the room, they had like granola bars. So I remember like when I was hungry, I was like, okay, let me eat the granola bars. Even though I'm on keto, I'm hungry.
We've been there.
You're like, please.
Because you know, usually they deck the room out with snacks. So I was like, we'll eat these snacks, whatever's in the room. And then we went out to like lunch and dinner every day, and like we ate a little bit there. But like I remember one time we ate and I was like, oh, I just want some like cooked eggs or something, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was like, no, here's a raw egg. I'm like, I was just so hungry. I was drinking rosé and water, and that's it.
Just
the whole time.
Just to give some context and some perspective. So brands take us on trips in exchange for social media posts. But if those brands were to pay for what those posts would cost them in a sponsorship, we could take ourselves on 4 trips. So basically Shayla is going on a trip and getting half the experience because the brand couldn't afford the trip they took them on, but she still has to post all of her posts, not getting paid anything for half of an experience of a trip.
Right.
Is what happened.
I feel like it was pretty unfair because the
because
blame
it turns on you.
The blame was like
the
on
whiskey
us.
gate is on you and less.
Like it was on all of us. And I feel like everyone in the industry knows what happened. And I haven't been invited on a trip with them since. And I think the 2 people that were in charge no longer work there. The 2 like main people. And Laura's reached out like, oh, like what's happened? And it's just like, it's just too much to even talk about. Like,
well, we'll go ahead and send them this video.
Right. Send them
we'll go ahead. We'll send the timestamp.
This is when
and we'll go ahead and
the breakdown happens.
Right. And it's like, I feel like for the most part, well, I've had a couple like weird experiences with brands. You know, I think we all have had like
we've all had little things. You're like, oh,
what's
shit.
going on here? They're not doing it right. But that was probably the worst.
Was that the worst one?
This is like miserable. Yeah.
But also, like when you're starving, everything's horrible.
Right.
Like for me, I know me. Like I say, if I'm really hungry,
remember
nothing.
It wasn't the brand's fault because they were like, you can order whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like Ula was like dead ass, like order whatever you want. Room service just closed, and like so it wasn't their fault.
We just couldn't eat.
And then we had 3-day-old airport snacks that were half eaten. Oh, you better believe I was in my bed.
But we were eating the
like,
granola and the oranges
pistachios.
from the pretty oranges that they use to set
to
up.
decorate. We were eating the fruit.
And the thing is, when you're starving, you're gonna eat everything,
honey.
Whatever
I don't give
you
a
can.
fuck.
Yeah.
I'm just hungry.
Digging out the bottom of my backpack trying to find crumbs. I was like, Manny, do you have any food here?
I was like, I have sour strips. I told her, I was like, I have sour strips.
Right.
You want some sour strips? That's all I got.
Okay,
Listen.
this kind of like runs right into our next question. Do you have any? I mean, obviously that was like the most epic.
Right, that was drama.
I mean, that was a pretty.
That's tea.
That was pretty much
That's tea.
But we wanted to know if you have any more specific bad brand experiences, but as well as good brand.
Like, what's like your best brand experience you've had that was like truly incredible, iconic, wonderful, and then like worst? This probably the last one was probably worse. But do you have any other bad ones?
Saint-Tropez was pretty bad. I feel like my best or one of my favorite brand trips, probably with Tarte.
Which one?
Bora Bora was
Bora
a lot of fun.
That was my favorite trip.
I personally think that was the
fun.
most iconic trip that ever happened.
I've never had a better trip.
I've never had a better trip.
The things that we were doing on that trip, first off, we're on a boat going to another island to have like dinner on the water. And were you guys on our boat when we were giving shots to the guy driving the boat? So dangerous.
I don't think I was.
I don't even remember.
Okay, so this is like, I feel like this was, I think everyone was on Snapchat back then.
Yeah.
But we're literally on a boat. The guy driving the boat, we're shots of vodka, and he's like driving like this. I'm not even.
And everyone's like
and everyone's like, we're recording it. So dangerous, yeah. And Tarte was like, yeah, it was so fun.
Wait, do you remember Necker Island?
I didn't go on that one.
What?
That was another
I didn't go on that one.
intense big trip.
That was a cool trip. That was
I think. Wait, was that Tarte?
That was Benefit.
I think. Was I invited to that?
You had to.
Probably were.
Probably, but I didn't go.
Yeah.
What was that? Was it weird?
That was
no, it was good. It was like another like huge like we literally were on the whole island.
Bora Bora vibes. Like it was so epic and like so many people were there. But that was a good one.
I feel like there's a reason why I don't know why I didn't.
There had to be. You were definitely invited. But that was, I would say that was Benefit's by far best trip.
Ooh.
Did you have any other bad experiences on brand trips or brand experiences, even like brand deal experiences?
Like sponsorship.
That's like did not work out and like it was
oh my
horrible.
God, there's so many brand.
Because I've had some
experiences.
traumas and Laura's had some traumas too.
I mean, I think the worst thing when it comes to like a sponsored deal is when they expect you to create content that they would create or that they like to see, and it's like, okay, that's not who I am. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like that's not my aesthetic. I actually had that issue with Laura Mercier too.
Oh my God.
Like,
there's a vendetta.
circling back.
No, it wasn't, and I think it was just a person running the brand. It was like, oh, can you do it like this? I'm like, that's not me. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. Like, how are you gonna do it like that?
I have so many stories like that where the brand is just difficult to work with, and for me, if someone is a pain in the ass, I'm not working with you anymore. Like,
for sure.
I don't care. There's
So you have
other
standards.
deals. I have standards. There's other deals. If you're difficult, I'm not messing with you. It's not worth it. Like, and there's a million brands out there. Like, I don't need your.
There certainly are.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like I have felt like that sometimes? I feel like sometimes the PR for certain brands want to be influencers themselves, and like that gets me together real good. Like, I don't like that business. I've even seen like PR for brands that are supposed to be mingling with all of us, trying to hang out and be besties with certain groups, and like leaving influencers out. And I'm like, fired. Like, I'm like, y'all leaving these girls out because they don't have as big numbers. But your PR, like your job is to mingle with all of us and to treat us all equally.
Or sending emails with their Instagram attachment telling them to tag you.
Wait, that happened?
Yeah. Yeah, that happened. So
tag me.
Like, hey, I'm no longer with this brand. I'm now with this brand. If you post anything, make sure to tag the brand, but also tag me.
Her personal account.
Because they want to be an influencer. You've never heard this?
I have.
I feel like I have. I don't know. I cannot remember who it was.
There's so much that happens behind the scenes. I'm just over here spilling all the tea.
I mean, there is.
But that's what podcasts are for.
Yeah.
That's what we spill for.
It literally was. It was a PR girl, and she was working for one brand. Then she switched to a massive brand that people tag all the time of a celebrity.
Right.
I remember now.
It rhymes with Lily. And
we're going there. Okay. Yeah.
Well, she worked.
I think she got fired.
Oh, did she?
Like immediately after that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, she sent out apparently
She's
allegedly.
Gonna be watching this like.
She sent out an email that was like, if you're using the products, tag my personal account so I can shout you out. So I'll make sure I can see it. And the brand's like, now girl.
Right.
Now diva.
You try to get people with millions of followers to tag your personal account to make it, not about the brand.
There's so much that happens behind the scenes that people watching don't realize or see.
That's the fun part about that's like the fun part about being able to have like one guest and two having a podcast like this where you can kind of like see a little bit more into an industry that's been going on for so long.
Yeah.
Right.
You just like don't like you just see like a lot of times people just see like cute photos and little videos here and there, but I'm like, no, there's like a fucking world. It's like the tip of an iceberg, and the iceberg is like all of this, but you see the tip only, not all of this underneath the water.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. And stuff that like will never even hit drama channels because people keep their mouth. Actually, people keep a lot like down low in our industry.
Sure.
Like people don't know how much people don't know in beauty. Like I will say with us, I don't know about the TikTokers. I feel like they get so many views for airing out stuff more so. And like we didn't do that as much because there wasn't as much of an incentive to do it. Whereas now it's like, that's how you go viral.
Right.
And drama channels picked up what they could, but like we kept so much quiet,
Right. We did.
Well, I think a lot of it was out of respect though for your like fellow creators and like brands, and we kept a lot of things like chill. Like there's so many stories too, like things that have happened with brands that were like, this will not get public because like it's not your fault.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I know like you didn't try to make this happen. This happened, but it was an unfortunate situation, but it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of people like respect that,
Yeah.
I also feel like we got criticized more if we were to say anything. People be like, you're so ungrateful. It's
True.
like,
oh my God.
That's true. And now people are praised for saying something. So it's like a different attitude about
totally
it now. So people like feel like it's safe to say something now. Okay, wait, we have a question for you.
Speaking of celebrities.
Speaking of celebrities.
Celebrities.
Speaking of celebrities.
Oh.
We just want to know, because last week that just aired on the podcast, we talked about the Kylie Jenner, Hailey Bieber shading Selena. We want to know what's your hot take on it.
So I honestly don't care. I'm just like, this is too much. Like, I'm sick of seeing the videos. I don't care.
It's all over our feed.
It's all over.
Mine too.
And I actually, so I did catch up and I was like, okay, so everyone's basically saying Hailey's copying Selena.
I saw all that too.
That's kind of like what's happening here. I've never met Hailey, but I've met Kylie and Selena. They're both really nice. Selena was so sweet.
The sweetest.
Like, they're all, and obviously, like, we've all met everyone in like a professional setting, so it's different.
True.
I feel like a lot of what's going on is like a reach, but also Hailey, I'm like, why are you getting a G tattoo behind your ear? That
Okay,
Selena
you know what?
has? I'm like, girl,
so many coincidences.
but maybe she didn't know. I mean, that's happened to me where someone's like, oh, you're copying so. I'm like, I don't even know who this person is.
It's happened to me a gazillion times
I literally
too.
said the exact same thing. I said, because the eyes were on me so tight years ago. I've done so many things. People were like, oh, you're shading this person. And I'm like,
and you're like, I'm not.
No, I
It's just a coincidence.
So it made me think it could be a coincidence because I've been, obviously not this scale, but I've been in situations like that. And like, it can happen. Girl,
We've been in situations.
One or two.
We've been in some situations.
One or two that recall. Maybe one or two that I can recall. Yeah. I don't know. But so many eyes would like pick me apart regardless of what I would do. So I was kind of like, maybe people are picking them apart. Yeah. Like I kind of felt the same way because you get it how things sometimes.
It's like I feel like a lot of it is a coincidence. Like I saw a video because I was like, let me just figure out what's everyone talking about.
Yeah, like you have to deep dive a little bit just to figure it out.
And someone said, I guess Haley and Selena both have like a cooking show, which I feel like cooking is everyone cooks. It's
and like that was like, especially at the time, like that was like what 2021, 2020, like 2022. Like that was so in because everyone was like at home, like let's figure out how to make meals. So like cooking really took off, especially during the pandemic.
Right, everyone's cooking.
So everyone started making these cooking shows and cooking things.
I feel like that's a coincidence.
So I feel like that's a coincidence as well.
Right, and then
but there's some things that you're like,
what do you think about the tattoo? See, the tattoo to me, I was like,
well, there's two tattoos. I think there's one on her finger. I was like, oh, that's not looking too good, honey.
And then the one behind the ear.
There's a lot of coincidence, but at the end of the day, I'm like, why do people care so much? Like, I kind of just don't care. I'm just like, I don't want to hear this anymore. Like, let's talk about something else.
It's good. The thing is, it's one of those things where it's like, it's celeb gossip and it's very airy and it's really light. It's not anything crazy.
Right.
And it's like palpable for a week. And then you're like, okay, like it's the same fucking shit. So we move on. Like that's how it feels. It's like it's easy to digest in the beginning because it's not that serious. If it was a huge serious thing, people would, like it'd be dragged on like, you know, Johnny Amber. Like it's serious, so it's dragged on for months.
Right.
This is not that. So you're like, okay, like
I feel like this one got so big for what it was.
It got huge.
It got huge.
It got really big for what it was.
Because nothing else is happening though.
Yeah.
Like, nothing really else is like going on in the media.
Murdoch trial. That's about it.
You know, I'm waiting. I'm about to watch the documentary. Ty watched the whole thing.
Okay, we won't talk about it, but yeah, catch up.
Is it good?
Interesting, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. I'm like maybe I'll even start tonight.
Yeah, the
new Murdoch.
I'm waiting until he's gone because he won't watch it with me now because he just saw it. So he's leaving soon. So I'm gonna binge it because I'm so into stuff like that. Like,
that's like your bread and butter.
That is my bread and butter.
My For You page is Murdoch trial and Selena stuff. Yeah.
Do you watch Housewives at all?
Do I?
I was both like jumping like
I watched all of the Housewives.
Oh, my girl.
Oh my god.
I just got into Housewives recently, so that's why I'm like
don't get me started. We'll be on here for 2 hours.
I watched all the Housewives.
Who's your favorite? What's your favorite franchise?
Okay,
you need to tell us because you're a professional. So what is the one that we need to watch?
Okay, so recently I've really been into Salt Lake City because there's drama.
Love
Beverly Hills and Potomac.
Potomac's my number one.
I mean, Atlanta used to be the number one, but I feel like they fell off. You know what? I actually really like Dallas. Dallas went away. Oh, Miami. Oh my God. What am I Miami. Have you watched Miami?
Absolutely.
She just started.
Miami this season is the best out of all the seasons.
I finished
She literally
everything.
just told me that. She's like, no, like how apparently like the first couple seasons got like reset or something, new people.
They canceled the show because they were boring. And then they did a reboot. Season 4 and 5 is lit.
The reboot is the one.
Are you caught up on Peacock?
I am.
Can we say Peacock?
Yes,
I'm over
we can.
Absolutely, you can.
Okay, so I'm watching every Thursday, honey. And the tea.
That's me every Monday with Potomac.
Lisa and Lenny. Do you know about Lisa and Lenny?
You know what? I'm gonna have to start like. No, the thing is, I'm a binger, so I was like, I'll like start one where I'm like gonna watch the whole thing. So Potomac is the one I first started. Laura's like, you have to watch Potomac.
I made
I'm like, okay.
him get into Potomac.
Now I'm like completely caught up. So now I'm caught up on Potomac, but now I'm watching Salt Lake.
I have a love-hate relationship with Potomac because I feel like they're not giving like looks. They're not giving fashion.
They never give looks.
There's so much that I'm like, you're not giving Housewives.
Giselle is a mess, but I feel like this past season has been good. Better for her.
It's been better for everyone.
But, for sure.
But if you compare them to the other Housewives franchise, it's like we need to pick it up a notch.
Right.
We need to pick it up because I've said all the other franchises. Atlanta used to be number one for me as well. I feel like they have fallen off a little bit. Potomac's kind of taken their spot, but I literally watch Beverly Hills for the looks.
Oh, yeah.
Because the girls turn
They give.
Out.
And they have like all the best. Like the best makeup artists.
They have the money too.
They have everything.
Everything. So I'm literally inspired watching it. I'm like, damn, they look good.
Yeah, I love Beverly Hills for that.
Can I ask who your favorite is on Beverly? Don't say Kathy.
Ooh.
She's going to say Kathy.
It's Kathy.
No, I don't think I
like Kathy. I like Kathy.
I like Kathy. I like that she's unhinged.
Stirring up the show.
She's unhinged.
When you're Hilton, I'm sure it's hard to not be unhinged.
The
honestly.
things she says, I'm like, okay, Kathy. I mean, I feel like all of them, it's cast so well that all of them have like a good position and they bring something to the table.
Did you like Lisa Rinna before she left?
Lisa was getting on my nerves. She was really getting on my nerves, but I feel like she brought a lot of drama
for the show.
I'm like, she's so good for this TV.
Stirring the pot.
Like, Lisa's good for that kind of show.
Good. Yeah, but I feel like she must have done something behind the scenes that pissed some people off.
1,000,000%.
For sure.
I think she possibly, too, asked for too much money or something.
Or Kathy was like, if you want me here, she needs to go.
She's to go.
And Kathy's got people. Kathy's got people to pull some plugs around.
I feel like something like that happened.
I do, too.
First, I want to know the real tea.
Yeah, I think that was the tea.
I do, too.
Kathy was like, no, she needs to go. She tried to take me down. I'm taking her down.
Uh-huh. Which is kind of crazy because it's what the show's about is like banter between people. So it's like the one time someone really tried her, they got fired after she was on for 8 years. So I'm like,
she's kind of a boss for that. I was like, oh.
Honestly, I'm like, for her to even get someone fired, I'm like,
scary to me. That's scary to me. Because that puts someone in a hierarchy position where
that's
they
like
could
boss move Bowser.
Anyone. So I'm like, but I do like Kathy. She does offer the show a lot.
Erica used to be my favorite before the scandal.
Erica Jane. I don't watch Housewives this
I loved Erica was a little bulldoggy to me. Her looks are everything. She was a little bulldoggy to me. Like she scares people to not argue with her, and I didn't love that. But then the scandal happened. I was like, God dang, girl.
When the scandal happened, I was like, okay, well maybe like she doesn't.
You like
know.
rationalize it a little bit. You're like, she doesn't know. It's fine.
But she's kind of doubled down on like, I don't care about anyone but myself. I'm like, maybe don't say that.
It's not the right way to go.
Like, we're trying to love you so
we're trying.
hard.
You're making
Please let us love you. And she just won't.
She's like, no, I'm going to wear these diamond earrings.
No,
that were
$2 million. And I'm not going to be returning them. I'm wearing them right now at the dinner. You'll see them tonight. Yeah, this fur. So it's like very like, I don't care vibes.
You need to catch up.
Maybe I need to watch Beverly too.
I've told you
that's why I don't. I know. I watch Potomac, and so I can't do too many at a time. Like I get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I have to like do one and just binge it all.
Because this is his first year on the Beverly.
I'm a baby.
Well, I feel like
that's why. I'm
Beverly Hills is so deep. Like the drama, you have to go back a little
bit. Exactly.
So if you want something easier, I would say Miami.
Miami's easy because you can watch season 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
4 and 5, and then you're kind of up to date.
Okay, another question for you. So do you have any person in the industry that you would like to squash beef with, or are you smooth selling? Like you chilling?
Okay, so this is where I'm at in life. If someone has beef with me, that's a personal problem. That has nothing to do with me. I feel like over the years I've had people that have had beef with me, and I'm just like, I don't get it. Like I don't talk to anyone. Like I'm in my house with my dog. Like even before the dog, you know what I mean? Like
totally.
So if there is ever beef, that's something that
it's like one-sided
like
beef.
Actual ongoing.
Yeah.
You're like not a part of it.
That's something they have to deal with, maybe therapy on their own. I don't know.
I've had a lot of beefs in the industry, and I've settled a ton of beefs in the industry, and I'm so grateful. And likewise, as you said, now I'm like so old and withered. I'm like, please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Right. I love everyone. If you have a problem with me, I don't know about it.
Right. I don't know about it. Exactly.
Like we're good where we're at with everybody. I'm not best friends with everybody. I'm friends with people I want to be friends with. I'm happy.
Right. Me too. I'm happy. And I think in the beauty community, there's just like so much like micro drama. I don't even know if that's a word, but like you won't even think there's drama with someone, and they'll be like, oh yeah, they said this about you. And you're like,
wait, what? Like,
I don't even know. Happen? Like, first off, I don't even know who this person is. And like, why do they hate me because what? Well, yeah, at the event you did that. I'm like, it's so petty. It's so stupid. And I feel like there's a lot of that in the beauty community, which is why I think we do get a bad rep.
Totally.
And sometimes I think we deserve it because there are people that are just so petty and so dramatic, and there's a lot of us too.
No, for sure. And the community is so big.
It's
like
so big.
beauty is like one of the biggest industries, and like of all the industries that are online, there's so many beauty content creators.
And money's involved. So I feel like when money heavily gets involved, because a lot of beauty is sales, whereas majority of the other parts of the industry is entertainment. Like they're just vlogging, they're gaming. It's not about selling you a product. So whenever sponsorships and actual sales get involved, I think things get so competitive and things get nasty.
Right.
I agree. I don't feel like I really even have beef with anyone. And if I did have beef with someone, it's like either resolved or it's something I don't want to resolve.
Let it lie.
Or you
I just let it lie.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Like I'm like, there's like I don't really care. I don't think about it, and I'm just gonna moving on.
Same. Also, I'm like, if my friends have beef with people, I am not involved with that. Like, that's one thing too, because like I have a lot of friends in the industry, you know, that I like to hang out with, and it's like all them going off on people, having problems with people. I'm like, just know.
Wait, what made you ask me that though? I'm like, did someone have beef with me?
No, we asked Louie and Adam that, and we were like,
I know. I'm thinking, I'm like, who's
like, no, I think it's a really fascinating thing though, like, because some people can have resolving things and don't want to solve them, and
you never know what you're gonna get when you ask that question. So we had just asked Louie and Adam that, and I was like, that'd be a good question for Shayla too. Yeah. She's an open book. But also, okay, we asked every single guest this. You want to ask her?
Oh yeah, if you had $1 billion,
a
billion tax-free cash, what would you spend the first thing on? And it can't be charity
or family.
I wasn't thinking charity.
Period. Because I'm sure eventually everyone will donate a little bit.
Everybody's your like family. We just want to know
spend it on?
The good.
Yeah. What's like
stuff.
one thing that you're like, I need to splurge on myself for this?
I'd buy property.
Period.
Yeah, I'd probably buy like an island or like
you don't really need investments though. Think about this, unless you wanted specific properties for yourself. Because of this, in my opinion, if you have $1 billion, why invest?
But I'd want like generations. Like I'd want like my generations, if we have kids, to be set. Like I'd want that generational. Like, okay, let me buy a lot of property so that everyone's set and they can carry that on. And then, you know, you get to the point where you got pull. You can do whatever you want.
You can become Kathy Hilton.
You can be Kathy.
You can fucking Kathy Hilton with that generational stuff.
I'd buy real estate and commercial real estate. And I'd probably like go into like investment mode. Also, like I'd probably spend a week on a yacht.
A week?
You could buy a yacht at that point.
Every summer you spend a week on a yacht.
With $1 billion? Like that's so much.
I'd probably buy a yacht and rent it out when I'm not using it.
I would buy a yacht.
To make more money.
Yeah.
And you'd probably do a private jet. He would do a private jet.
I would do a private jet for sure.
I mean, I would like a private jet, but
I feel like I would just charter. I feel like I would just charter one.
What's it called?
The environment.
The environment.
The economy.
Not the economy.
But the economy.
You're close. You were very close. You were very close.
Listen, I had a shot of Tito's before this. That's why.
Did you?
No, global warming.
Global warming. No, I'm proud of you.
No, yeah.
The CO2 emissions.
Yeah, so.
I would definitely charter a private jet. I don't know if I would like buy myself like Laura Air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would
love to see Laura Lee Air.
I mean, it would be a beautiful plane. I'm like, there would be an olive tree in it.
It would be stunning. Yeah, there would be a growing olive tree in the middle of it.
I just like the vibes. We're gonna keep it alive, everybody.
Just for the vibe.
Windows open.
Water it.
It needs the sun.
No, honestly, everyone criticizes people for having a private jet, but I feel like everyone would probably have one.
Girl, give someone the opportunity.
They would take it.
Oh, I'd also help the homeless.
No charity.
We already
know you would do that.
Homeless.
Yeah.
No, we have a situation
world
here
peace.
in LA. Yeah, world peace. I'd do all that. But yeah, no.
We know. That's what we have to preface with, like, people always want to start off with like, I would donate it and I would
and we're like, of course.
And of course you would.
Right,
but
like what else?
What the fuck do you want?
I love being in the water, the beach, so I definitely buy an island.
I bought a house in Florida this year. Like, girl, I'm coast to coast. I love the water.
Are we a water sign? No, we're Earth sign.
We're Earth.
Earth sign.
So we should be
Virgo's
water.
like water. Like I love being in the ocean.
Sun, water, ocean, salt, sand. I'm
all
at
that,
peace.
yeah.
I'm the literal opposite.
See, your yacht too. You're the only other person that's mentioned a yacht. I'd
love to just hang out on a yacht, like St. Bart's or like.
Whenever brands are like, we're gonna go on a boat for like the whole day, I'm like, fuck.
Oh yeah.
And the itineraries, I'm like, damn.
Okay, I don't mind a boat, but I'm like, wait, are we talking about a like catamaran or a yacht?
Right.
Like we could do. On the vibes. That's one thing. Actually, Laura Mercier, they did charter a yacht. That was nice.
What's their alcohol on the yacht?
Probably not.
That's where the budget went.
The yacht was vintage a little bit, but it was nice. It wasn't new. It was nice though.
Oh my god!
It
wasn't
really nice.
A modern yacht, but it was.
It wasn't a catamaran. It was.
Oh my god!
It was a yacht.
There's a difference. What's a
catamaran? Is like a boat with like.
Like the boats we always take in
sailing.
Mexico, where you take sailing.
So
you go out. You do a little dinner at sunset.
A cute boat.
I don't even know if you can have dinner on there. There's like nets where you can like lay on the net.
Lay on the net.
Okay. Now
it's like like a yacht is like there's rooms in there. There's bathrooms.
Yeah, you can like sleep.
You could.
A yacht is not even called a boat.
Yeah, it's not
like
a boat.
You don't even call them a boat. They're a yacht. A yacht is a yacht.
Yeah.
Whenever we were in Ibiza this summer, we were just staring at them, like all the yachts.
It's insane.
Girl, I was like, I want to be on one of those so bad.
You know what else I would do if I had $1 billion? I'd probably travel the world for like 3 months. Just seeing
Go
to every country.
You would do it in the best conditions too with $1 billion. Like the most first class, like
a little Emirates vibe.
Emirates, I'd get all the points from all the airlines.
Absolutely. You're a points girly.
I'm a points girly.
No,
yeah.
100%.
All the
points
points.
I
Singapore
love
Air,
that.
Emirates, all of it.
We flew Singapore Air to Tokyo.
Yes, all the good stuff.
That was
that was lovely too.
You know when you
fly
first, you get hella points.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're so cute with your points. It cracks me up.
Free flights, Delta, all the way.
Yep.
Get those Delta points.
All the points.
Well, that is it for this episode. Shayla, do you want to share anything else? Or are you good?
I think I'm good. I feel like I spilled enough tea.
You did spill some tea. You did. Where can they find you, by the way, on social?
Instagram, TikTok at MakeupShayla.
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 We'll also have her link down below. If you guys just want to click down below, you will find her there.
Yes, that's it.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not really there that often, but YouTube, yeah.
I'm there sometimes in spirit. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It was
was
so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you had fun.
Yay!
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on our next episode.
Bye guys.